three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Teaching Crypto. This is AZcrypto and MrFOMO. MrFOMO, hopefully all our technical difficulties are out of the way.
We're done.
And look at Joe. Joe, like a champion, coming in. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like. Like I said, hopefully we got everything cleared up here. And we had a big day today. No definite news on the auction yet. However, we did get some positive news that I think our viewers should be aware of. So go ahead and hit that share screen, Mr. FOMO, so we can tell our viewers some interesting news that's good. So thank you to Obi. He's appeared on the show before. We haven't heard news about the winning bidder. However, in a recent document 402, Voyager received back 6,500 Bitcoin, 50,000 worth of ETH in return for some FTT tokens that were collateral. So they gave back 174 million, and in return they got 208. Mr. FOMO, this is good news because this means there was more BTC back in the system and more ETH, and that is good because a lot of people had that heavily in their portfolio.
It's good to see them acquiring crypto. That's definitely a positive sign. When you see them, going out and getting BTC, getting that ETH, they're not exactly buying it straight up, but to see them having that back on the platform instead of going off the platform gives me hope that when they turn the lights back on, we'll be able to get actual crypto back and actual value in crypto rather than fiat.
Yes. So to reiterate, we found out today we do not have news of a winning bidder. There was news that the auction is going to go into tomorrow, but we couldn't know at any time. So we might be back with you guys tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow. But what we do know is that right now there have been no delays. There's still an auction going on.
We had a I mean, it's not really news, but we had something that was canceled today. There was a hearing that was canceled, but the reason it was canceled was because there was nothing contested. There was no problems. Nobody had a beef. Nobody had an issue. So, that's actually good news to have that hearing canceled. Normally that would be a bad thing, but and like you said, that it doesn't constitute a delay. Everything seems to be rolling along.
Yeah. So I'm happy that we didn't have any bad news today. I was hoping for good news, but remember, no problem, Joe. Please spread the word. Remember, the creditor committee and Voyager was hoping to tweet something out by tomorrow. So hang in there. Even though we didn't get any news, it's only the night's still young. We don't have any
I think tomorrow we're going to have to get back on the air, and now that we're with Restream and we've got all those technical difficulties worked out, I'm happy that we got that worked out before they get to this final point where we know who the winning bidder is, because I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, now very interesting.
I'm probably not going to sleep tonight.
Listen to this. Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Citadel are planning to launch a Bitcoin and crypto exchange. Now, we brought up Fidelity before, and we brought up other places. Is it possible that there's a tie-in here, or am I being way too optimistic? I think we probably would have known if they were one of the bidders. But haven't we saying the financial giants are eventually going to get into the game? And
well, I mean, if you really get out there and listen to the people that are talking about this Voyager situation, you are hearing people say that over and over again. It's not just us. And so I think you're reading a bit of the tea leaves there. You might be right. I don't think that they would be able to make that announcement that confidently if they were still in a bidding process, though. I think that's probably right. That's probably what cancels them out. But the good news there is, how many billions of dollars do they have of assets are they managing right now? how many people now are getting exposure and how many wealthy people are getting exposure. When we used to talk just a year or so ago about mass adoption, this is what we talked about mass adoption looking like the beginning of that snowball rolling down the hill was the big banks getting into crypto. And that's what we got right now. And so we're hearing that news. Thankfully, this Voyager thing is rolling out. I don't think that those particular banks are in the running, but I don't think that means that no banks are in the running.
I heard a rumor about Wells Fargo. Thanks, Easy checking in. Thanks, my friend. I heard a rumor about Wells Fargo as well from someone I know in California, but again, not able to substantiate. So I can't really say for sure that that's happening. But the more good rumors we hear, the better.
It doesn't seem like we're hearing any bad rumors anymore. There were all those, even when the Voyager UCC, the committee had their town hall meeting on YouTube, they talked about running a parallel investigation with Voyager had their own internal investigation. They were running an investigation on the Voyager insiders, Steve and the team and everything else that was going on. And Joe says Wells Fargo did file documents.
Okay.
But, you were hearing some negative things that were coming out, and it was sort of happening, here and there, but it still was negative. Now you're hearing these positive rumors, and it's just getting that, like I said, it's getting exciting. And I'm glad that our funds are going to be freed up. I'm glad to see these banks, I'd still like to see them guarantee your crypto. You know what I mean? Like
I think that's coming someday for mass adoption.
Right.
There's, again, and I keep saying this, cold storage is not going to lead to mass adoption. I understand why it's necessary, but it's not going to solve our problem.
Teach your grandma to put her crypto on cold storage and then tell me about mass adoption.
Yeah.
That's the problem. When your mass adoption is complicated, you're not going to get mass adoption. It's got to look like what they're comfortable with. And then it's got to create more comfort on top of that, not just in insurance, but just with the way that it's used. I think those banks have their brains wrapped around that. And so if it was a big bank, I think they would have, those kind of interests would take the forefront.
No, I think it's important we want to remind our viewers about the timeline here. The hope is that the sale is approved by the 29th of September. And then the end of October, early November is when the judge wants to close all this out, ideally, as long as we don't have any more delays. But we're still looking at I'm going to keep saying January. I'm going to try to will into existence a January rebirth. Yeah, MrFOMO, I think 8 weeks is enough time. I really do. And I'm going to keep saying this. Whoever, hopefully we have a winner in the next couple days, or even as early as tomorrow or as early as tonight, there's going to be a sense of urgency to get this thing back up. I'm telling you. There's going to be a sense
I absolutely agree with that. I just think that the timing makes it problematic with the holidays, with people paying.
Holidays are over in January. You're
still paying that credit card off in January.
With all due respect to MLK, no one's buying each other gifts. So I think we're okay. You know what I'm saying? I think.
You're right. But I think that credit card statement comes around that day, and you probably paying that credit card statement off in January. I think they hold off to February. They make sure they've got all the wheels greased. They make sure they've got all their T's crossed and their I's dotted. And they make sure that people aren't going to run away from the platform. They've got to also have time to build up confidence. They've got to have some sort of marketing plan. And that's something that Voyager never really had in earnest. Is that
Are you saying the PowerPoint videos by Pam was not that of $1 billion organization? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you saying when the day you launch VLP 2.0, you probably might want to have it on the app? And
I would think that if you're launching VLP 2.0, you do it Apple style and you rent out a theater and you have a bunch of people show up and you celebrate it, like you stream that live on your website. And there's a way to do it, and it's not a PowerPoint. So that's something that I'm hopeful to see out of this restructuring and out of this purchase is what is the marketing like with a new company? What are they, how do they promote this? How do they overcome this bankruptcy? I'm interested to see what that plan is. I'm
You know,
excited.
sometimes to really become great, you got to hit rock bottom first. I'm trying to be positive here, and it sucks that our funds have been frozen. It really does. It sucks that we don't know exactly how much we're getting back. Today was a step in the right direction. If you're just joining us, we got some ETH and BTC back into the platform, a significant amount. So that's a really good step today. And as far as we know, no delays in the auction. You know, everything today that happened, there was no one contested anything, so that was good. So we're hopefully heading in the right direction. I just pray for all of us.
I think that this is, I mean, really, you think about how painful this has been for us. This has only been a few months, this process, and when it finally plays out, hopefully, it will be less than a year. I mean, think about these other groups that are dealing with the same kind of process, and it takes years to get through and to get back maybe even a fraction of what they should have. You know, it's tough. And, you know, as customers of Voyager through this process, we've actually been pretty fortunate.
Yeah, and to recap, we know Binance is involved somehow, some way. Well, we don't know 100%, but heavy rumors. Joe mentioned that Wells Fargo was in the court documents. All right, Joe. I know they weren't. I could be wrong. I don't think they've been a confirmed bidder. I'll go back and double check. I haven't seen anything about that.
I mean, who is really a bidder outside of FTX?
It's interesting that I heard that, and then he's seen them mentioned in court. So that's another good sign. A lot of good signs. And again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. So it's going to be interesting. Really quickly, let's talk very fast about ETH and BTC. Guys, we've been telling you we're in a bear, and it's nowhere near over. The ETH merge was nice. We had some nice run-ups. Guys, we're still in a bear market. And every time BTC, listen to this, just 1 second. Hi, Faith. Thanks for joining us. Every time BTC pumps over 21K, people get super excited. Guys, I'm telling you, we are in a bear market. That doesn't mean there's no room to make money. In fact, Sweatcoin opened up today. I didn't sell any because one, they didn't make it super clear how to.
maybe that's part of one of our next live streams is we teach people how to cash in their Sweatcoin.
Yeah, I think that's coming up soon. So
if
you have
those steps, and if you don't have that app, download that app. Get paid for your steps. You can even trade merchandise on the app. I donated some money to young entrepreneurs the other day.
Very nice. Well, I got close to 500, so I'm hoping it does hit $1.
Yeah. Let's talk about the market real quick. You were talking about it a little bit. The macro isn't great. The Dow Jones fell 1,300 today. That's not a good sign for crypto. When the regular markets are falling, we know crypto is close behind. Are you a buyer right now, or are you waiting?
No. I'm even if I had all my funds, I'm waiting and slowly DCAing. Right? We've talked about the coins we're super bullish on. We've talked about Avalanche and eGold, and taking a long shot on Audius. But right now, the way things look, I'm super slow DCAing. We got to remember the next BTC halving is second quarter of 2024. We're a long ways away from the end of the bear. So when I see when I see Cardano go back to 40 cents, and I'm a believer that it's going to hit $2, $3, $4 next bull run, yeah, I'll buy a little bit, but for entertainment purposes only. But I'm slowly DCAing right now. I don't think we've hit rock bottom.
And if you see, I mean, I recently did this with Cardano. Cardano got down to 42. I picked up some Cardano. It ran up to 51 or 52. I bailed out at 50. You can make yourself almost 25% if it gets down to 40 cents again. And it's going to get back to 50. Eventually.
You might be sitting for a couple months, though. You might be sitting for a couple months.
But you've also got Cardano with the Vassal hard fork later this month. You've got Algorand that has an update coming later this month. There's a few. I think Solana has an update coming later this month. So there's some opportunities maybe to play with the buy the rumor, sell the news kind of action. But again, this middle of the month, you've got ETH. And their merge, I'm on top of the macro, I think that you're probably going to see the market take a quick downturn, and maybe you might get some positive action out of those coins that are going through some upgrades, but I'd be careful.
Yeah. So guys, our guest unfortunately could not make it, but we'll try to re-get them. It was a big guest. We'll try to lure them in one more time. Looks like we got another day of waiting. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like, share, hit that notification to know when we're going live. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZcrypto. Thanks to everyone that joined us, and have a great week, everybody. See you soon.
See ya.